Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the final stretch of the U.S. presidential race, and former President Donald Trump used a campaign event in the state of Arizona on Thursday to attack his political opponents with a range of personal insults and said that the country can only take so much. Now, during the so-called fireside chat with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Trump called President Joe Biden quote-unquote stupid, and Vice President and Democratic nominee Kamala Harris, quote-unquote, as dumb as a rock. He also described his 2016 presidential opponent Hillary Clinton as a quote-unquote horrible scoundrel. Trump said that he believed great cost-cutter tech billionaire Elon Musk could save the government $2 trillion, but did not elaborate on how Musk was going to do that. Musk has endorsed Donald Trump, we all know that, and appeared at several campaign events for the MAGA candidate. Listen in to what Donald Trump had to say in Arizona.
Fighting against crooked Hillary Clinton, who's a smart woman, much smarter than Kamala, but doesn't lie as much. Hillary was a liar, a horrible scoundrel, but this one lies so much. And she's a low IQ individual. She doesn't even know she's lying, I'm telling you. This is not what you want for your president. That has nothing to do with me. This is not what you want. She's a very low IQ individual. She's dumb as a rock, and you can't have that. You can't have that. We love our country too much. You can't have it. We just went through 4 years of it. You can't have any more. A country can only take so much. When Biden got up with the red background, the pink background, and he looked like the devil, he looked so stupid, right? And he said, "We will stop MAGA. MAGA, we're going to..." I said, "Listen, you stupid bastard. MAGA means, because I think if you asked him what does it mean, he doesn't know. MAGA means make America great again. That's what MAGA means. So, for the first time, I never said it to anybody, I never really thought about it that much, but all of a sudden, it was down to like maybe 10 or 8 or 9 days, a few days ago, right? I said, you know, in 10 days, this will never happen again, because I'm not running again.
Well, now Jennifer Lopez proudly invoked her Puerto Rican heritage and told a crowd of Kamala Harris supporters, on the other hand, in Las Vegas, that they should embrace their emotions when they're voting. The singer and entertainer, drawing on her own experiences and cultural heritage, called on voters to act with their ballot, telling them that the powerful people in the United States, love it when you do nothing. Jennifer Lopez also encouraged the audience to be scared and be outraged, and she said she liked Hollywood endings when the good girl wins. Mexican rock band Mana also performed ahead of Harris and also endorsed the vice presidential candidate. During her comments on reproductive freedom, Harris gave a nod to question number 6, known as the Right to Abortion Initiative, a ballot measure to provide for a state constitutional right to an abortion.
You know what? We should be emotional. We should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. We should. Our pain matters. We matter. You matter. Your voice and your vote matters. And look, don't be afraid to make people around you uncomfortable. Invite people around you to be the change, to go out there and vote. Nobody likes having tough conversations or talking about politics, but trust me, I've been in some of these rooms. I see the way power works in this country. They love it when you do nothing.
So, Nevada, to make your right heard and to protect your right to make your own health care decisions, I would also recommend you vote yes on question 6. And make sure you vote up and down the ballot to truly protect your rights. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
Well, former U.S. President and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, he said that the United States' great partnership with India and my good friend Prime Minister Modi will be strengthened under his administration. Now, in a post on X, Trump also extended his greetings on Diwali. He said, "Happy Diwali to all. I hope the festival of lights leads to the victory of good over evil," he posted on social media. And in the same post, the former president condemned the violence against Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh as well, addressing that particular issue. Donald Trump accused Vice President Kamala Harris and President Joe Biden of ignoring Hindus across the world and in America as well. He also vowed to make America strong again and bring back peace through strength. Donald Trump's reaction and his remarks, his statement on social media, of course, addressing and extending those greetings on the auspicious occasion of Diwali, but also addressing the issue of the minorities, essentially the Hindus in Bangladesh, that are being persecuted. US President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, they led Americans in celebrating Diwali as temples and many iconic places across the country were decorated and completely lit up. This Diwali, may we show the power in the gathering of light, the light of knowledge, of unity, of truth, the light for freedom, for democracy, and for an America where anything is certainly possible. Joe Biden posted the same on social media platform X. Tonight, we join more than 1 billion people across America and around the world lighting diyas and celebrating the fight for good over evil, knowledge over ignorance, and light over darkness, said Kamala Harris in a post on social media platform. Meanwhile, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris also warned supporters at a Phoenix rally that Republican Donald Trump and his allies would scale back Obamacare and other health care programs if he wins the White House, and said his comments at a rally were offensive to women all across the country.
And on top of that, Donald Trump still wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, and he has a powerful friend in Congress, the Speaker of the House, who recently said, if Trump wins, there will be, quote, no Obamacare, which would understand the meaning of that. It would throw millions of Americans off of their health insurance and take us back to the time which we remember when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. Well, we are not going back. We are not going back.
Kamala Harris also brought up Trump's comments about a woman at a Wisconsin rally on Wednesday. Listen in.
And Donald Trump's not done. Did everyone hear what he just said yesterday? That he will do what he wants, quote, and here's where I'm going to quote, whether the women like it or not. And we must vote, because this is the thing. You know, there's a saying that you got to listen to people when they tell you who they are. And this is not the first time he has told us who he is. He does not believe women should have the agency and authority to make decisions about their own bodies. This is the same man who said women should be punished for their choices. He simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women to know what's in their own best interest and make decisions accordingly. But we trust women. We trust women. Which is why, yes, we will vote, because we also understand if he was elected, he has been pretty clear in his behavior and his deeds. He will ban abortion nationwide. He will restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans for yourself.
Well, now opinion polls show a historically close contest between Harris and Trump, with the outcome of Tuesday's U.S. presidential election likely to be decided in. Former U.S. President and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump flew to Albuquerque, New Mexico, on for a campaign stop in a state he lost by 10% points in 2020. The Harris campaign said he is laying the groundwork for another stolen election claim if he loses. Donald Trump also specifically quoted Latino voters at the New Mexico rally following the controversy. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage at Trump's rally in New York's Madison Square Garden earlier in the week.
Don't make me waste a whole damn half a day here, okay? Look, I came here, we can be nice to each other or we can talk turkey. Let's talk turkey, okay? First of all, Hispanics love Trump. They do. True. I like them. They're smart. They're a lot smarter than the person running for president on the Democrat side. You could say a lot smarter than Biden, too, I can tell you. On the East Coast, they like being called Hispanics. You know this? On the West Coast, they like being called Latinos. So, poll, give me a free poll. I don't have to spend $300,000. First is going to be Latinos, next is Hispanics, right? Which do you prefer? Latinos. Uh-oh. Let me give it one more shot. Latinos. Hispanics.
But with days to go until the presidential vote, opinion polling shows the election is on a knife edge, with few places as pivotal as Wisconsin. Experts say the state could go totally any way on election night.
Wisconsin voters insist on being unpredictable. And so we've got right now a race for president that's maybe 48-48. But actually that means that there are 2% of Wisconsinites who haven't decided who they want to vote for. We're a very divided state, we're an unpredictable state, and we're a very independent state. And so I think really everything is up for grabs. It could go totally any way on election night.
But many Trump supporters that Reuters agency spoke to in Wisconsin are confident that he'll win the state.
I think he's heavily favored in this state, and I think he's up by a lot more than the mainstream media wants you to believe. I've seen a lot of Trump support, especially in more rural areas, which is pretty typical. There's definitely a lot of support for Trump in Milwaukee too. People just think of it as a deep blue city, but that's not fully the case. But yeah, there's a lot of support for Trump. There's a lot of support for Harris as well, but the ground game for the Trump campaign and with Turning Point is much stronger than Harris's ground game.
I think Trump has a good chance, a majority of reasons and chances to win if all the votes are counted.
I think Trump has a really good chance of winning here. Just he has a lot of views that align with people I know that live here. I know a lot of people that are really torn up about the way the economy is right now, just rent prices and costs for everyday stuff. That's just risen over and over again over the past few years. I was kind of 50-50 on if I wanted to vote or not, just because, not really any of the candidates seemed super attractive, but I decided that I was going to. My parents kind of talked me into it a little bit.
Well, supporters of former President Donald Trump also rejected comments made by President Joe Biden in which he seemed to refer to them as garbage. Now, Biden's gaffe came after comedian Tony Hinchcliffe called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage at a rally in New York, Madison Square Garden, one of a series of vulgar and racist remarks by Trump's allies at the event. And Donald Trump supporters quickly began comparing the comment to widely criticized remarks by the then Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton at an event in September 2016.
He called you garbage. He called all of us garbage. We're garbage. I remember the word deplorable. Do you remember the word deplorable? How did that work out, Hillary? Not too good. But they mean it, even though without question my supporters are of far higher quality and I think much smarter than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is simple. You can't lead America if you don't love America. You can't do it. You can't be president if you hate the American people, and I think they hate the American people. Look at how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage. Look on the border. Look at New Mexico. Well, you have the worst problem probably in the whole country. They're flowing in like you're a federal highway. They're flowing into your state at levels that nobody else has to see. For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascists, deplorables, irredeemables, Nazis, and they called me Hitler. I'm Hitler, that's what they say.
Shiv Sena UBT leader Arvind Sawant has stirred controversy with his sexist remark about Shaina NC, the former BJP leader who recently switched to Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena ahead of the Maharashtra Assembly elections. Now, Arvind Sawant, whilst addressing the media, referred to Shaina as imported mal, quote unquote, or imported material in a loose translation, saying that only original material is accepted in their ranks. In response, Shaina NC hit back, criticizing Sawant and his party's mindset, which she called offensive and disrespectful towards women. She pointed out that while the Shinde government empowers women through initiatives like the Ladli Behan Yojana and Ujjwala and Mudra schemes, leaders from Maharashtra and the Mahavikas Aghadi, the MVA, resort to objectifying women on the other hand. Shaina further alleged that Congress MLA Amin Patel was present, laughing during Sawant's comments, and demanded an apology at the Nagpada police station. Shaina NC, now the Shiv Sena candidate for the Mumba Devi constituency, is one of the 15 candidates named by the party on the 28th of October for the upcoming elections that are slated to take place on the 20th of November. She was initially interested in the Worli seat but was fielded from Mumba Devi after the Shiv Sena nominated Milind Deora from Worli against Uddhav Thackeray's son Aditya Thackeray from Worli itself.
उनकी हालत देखो ना भैया, जिंदगी भर वो भाजपा में रही, अब कहीं नहीं तो इनके दूसरे पार्टी में गई, और ये इम्पोर्टेड नहीं चलता यहाँ, इम्पोर्टेड माल नहीं चलता हमारे यहाँ ओरिजिनल माल चलता है, ओरिजिनल माल है हमारा.
Well, so that was the alleged statement that was, well, put out by Arvind Sawant. He has now clarified on his remark. Listen into what Sawant had to say.
ये जो इतना बवाल करने का है, ये उनकी आदत है. आदरणीय प्रियंका गांधी जी ने जब बताया था इनकी नीति कितनी नीची है, तो क्या बोला था उन्होंने? मेरी जात निकाली, जबकि उन्होंने कभी नहीं कहा था. और आप मीडिया बताते रहे, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री बोल रहे ना, तो झूठ बोलने में सबसे माहिर है वो. अरे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आरोप लगाया सिंचाई घोटाला हुआ 75,000 करोड़ का. क्या हुआ? कोई अहले नहीं लगाया था ना, उसको तो सम्मानित किया, पार्टी के साथ में सरकार में किया, वित्त मंत्री बनाया, जो बाद में उप मुख्यमंत्री बनाया. तो जिसका कैरेक्टर ऐसा है, जिस पार्टी का कैरेक्टर ये बता रहा है, वो सच बोलते हैं क्या? सच बोलने के लिए पहले बताओ उनको. अगर इतना उनको एहसास होता है तो मणिपुर की जो इतनी सभी घटना हुई, तो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आज तो कुछ बोला नहीं. बुरा नहीं लगा आपको? देश की महिलाओं को विवस्त्र होकर उनकी टेंट निकाली गई, उसके ऊपर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री कुछ नहीं मुद्दे अवमान नहीं हुआ. हाल ही में वो दक्षिण भारत में जब आंध्रा या कर्नाटक के चुनाव में गए थे, प्रज्वल रेड्डी का प्रकरण आपने लाया था, उसके पिताजी के प्रचार के लिए कौन गया था? आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री तो गए थे ना प्रचार के लिए. तब क्या हुआ? महिलाओं का सम्मान होता.
Well, moving on, patrolling across the line of actual control, it resumed at the traditional points of Demchok in eastern Ladakh on Thursday, following the completion of the disengagement and the verification process by both sides of the armies. Patrolling at Debsang will begin soon, as per army sources, is what we're picking up. The soldiers patrolled areas in Ladakh on Thursday after informing the other side and exchanged sweets to mark the auspicious occasion of Diwali, just a day after they completed military disengagement. Patrolling was stopped in these two areas in eastern Ladakh for about 4.5 years after the two sides clashed in Pangong Lake and Galwan regions in May and June 2020, leading to the death of 20 Indian soldiers. The militaries Both these nations have agreed to patrolling agreement just last week, aiming to end the 4 years of border tensions. The disengagement and the entire deal called for the removal of troops and infrastructure from Depsang and Demchok and the withdrawal of troops to pre-April 2020 positions. The soldiers exchanged sweets yesterday at 5 different locations along the LAC, including Chushul Maldo and Daulat Beg Oldi in Ladakh. On the occasion of Diwali, this progress underscores a significant diplomatic effort to de-escalate tensions between the two countries.